What's up, everyone? You're on the Ant-Man channel on this Monday, the 7th January 2013. I've been ranting a lot today, man. And it's not even the coffee. It's just that I don't report the news on the weekend, and when I come back on a Monday, I'm recharged. You know, I'm like on supercharge mode. And plus, I just had a cup of coffee, so I mean, I should be pretty much set. I got WND news for you right here. This is doesn't say who it's by, but on Capitol Hill, Democrats plan another $1 trillion in taxes. Pelosi says last week's $620 billion is not enough. Do you hear that, taxpayers? When I like visualize Nancy Pelosi, I imagine the taxpayers like the Hebrews living in Egypt when Moses was pretty much like to be Pharaoh one day. I imagine like the Egyptians whipping the Hebrews on the back, telling you guys to work harder. That's what I picture when I hear Nancy Pelosi telling you guys that $620 billion is not enough. Mush, hurry, slaves! Work harder! Stop being lazy, slaves. You need to make that tax money so that we could spend it on taking your liberties and shipping all your jobs to China and making Walmart. Walmart is one of the most disgusting, filthy organizations in the United States. You're paying employees under minimum wage. You're giving them slave wages just so that you can turn a profit. I mean, this is North Korea now, people. Get your act together and know that this is not the United States of America anymore. And your president is not the president anymore. He is the Führer. He is Dracul. He is a bad guy. He is all kinds of bad for you. He wants you to be, you know, like when I picture Obama, I picture Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. I picture a guy who's just totally totally self-absorbed, totally tyrannical. Like he will do anything to get his way, and that means crush you in his path. You may notice a smaller total in your first paycheck for 2013 because the Fiscal Cliff deal allowed a tax break for working people to end and Social Security taxes to rise. It was part of the $620 billion in increased taxes Barack Obama was given by Congress just last week. Critics warned at the time he'd be back for a lot more of your paycheck. Now Obama's party has confirmed that, with several members explaining their demands for another $1 trillion in tax increases on Americans. We've done about $2 trillion. I thought $4 trillion is the goal we should reach. What's cooler than $2 trillion? $4 trillion. I thought $4 trillion is the goal we should reach. I think we're about halfway there. We need another $2 trillion, said Senator Ben Cardin, Democratic in MD. I'm not sure what state that is. A member of the Finance Committee in a report in the Hill. This goes on and on. The Fiscal Cliff, just to put that in dummy terms, means I'm signing in you. Picture me as Obama explaining to you what the Fiscal Cliff means. I'm signing you on to more debt. Okay? You're going to pay for all the money that I'm going to use out of your tax dollars to fund Al-Qaeda, to fund Hezbollah, to fund more terrorists, blowing up more federal buildings, to take your liberties, because that's America. That is the new America. We don't need the American people empowered. We need police officers and military men on our streets to empower you for you. We don't need you to be empowered. We need security, because we don't trust the drugged children in this country, because nobody wants to discipline their children, because you rather put them on psychotropic drugs to calm them down, because the teachers at the schools think that your kids need Ritalin, they need psychotropic drugs because they're just healthy kids that don't like being in school. So that means when your kids are in school and they're acting restless and they're not paying attention, that means they're healthy, you idiot. That means that your kid is a kid who likes being in school. Not me. When I was in school, I'm like, I don't like the slave training. I don't like the prisoner training. I wish I could be at home playing like with my toys or something. That's what I was thinking when I was a kid. I was like, I wish I could be home playing with my Legos instead of being here listening to people tell me that I'm garbage, that I'm inadequate. I'm not as good as the other children. most of the time I had a bunch of racist teachers, man. Believe me, I had a lot of racist teachers. I had a lot of problems as a kid because of the type of teachers that I had, and I don't blame them. I would be a piece of garbage too if I was working for if I was a government, teacher, getting paid crap, even though my credibility is super high and I went to school for a long time and I still get paid garbage. I would be a wreck too. I would hate everyone too if I was a teacher getting paid peanuts, because I know that they're highly intelligent and they went to school, they're very well educated, and I wouldn't be able to take that either. But when your kid is at school and he's acting up and he doesn't pay attention all the time, that just means he's a normal kid. That just means that he is a healthy little kid. But nowadays, since you have kids having kids and they're not done being kids yet, instead of disciplining their children, they just put them on drugs. They just put them on drugs. And then it becomes a question of, oh, it's the gangster culture. It's the gangster culture that all these people are getting shot now. It's the gangster culture that we force feed you. No, it's not. It's the fact that there are a bunch of people that grew up on MTV and thought that getting pregnant at 10 years old was cool. So everyone got pregnant at 10 years old. And now everyone has kids that they don't even pay attention to that are becoming even more retarded than them. And you know what I mean? It just goes on and on and on. So it's not a problem of whether we need to get these kids off of these drugs and show them some discipline, give them a firm spanking on the behind, or make them take out the trash. No, instead put him on drugs and make him play first-person shooter games all day. Just to let you know, the people that shot up that guy Adam Lanza, that shot up that school, that is an absolute perfect example of a person that is on psychotropic drugs that plays too many first-person shooter games all day. What do you think you're training yourself to do? You morons out there, like, start disciplining your kids, man. You can't just put your kids on drugs and put them in front of a TV screen to become desensitized to shooting people all day. Oh, I got kills. I got 10 kills now. I mean, you got little kids talking about I got kills like it's fun, like it's cute. I mean, we got a culture of cruelty and a culture of degenerated retardedness now. I mean, if you're not even questioning whether your kid should be knowing about murder and all this nonsense, then you're just a jackass, man. You're not paying attention to anything. You're part of the problem. You need to become part of the solution now. Stop being a yuppie, okay? Stop copying out and letting the government take everything that you should be responsible for and turn it into what it is now. A bunch of zombies and a bunch of just degenerates out there not doing their job. I'm not going to be nice to you, man. I already said this before. I mean, my podcasts, I want to be real to you. I want to give you a real opinion from a perspective of somebody living in California. Just a normal guy living in a desert valley in California. I am not the most educated person, but I have been seeing this for a long time. There's a couple of people that when I ran into them, I knew I wasn't crazy anymore. And one of those was like Joe Rogan Experience, Alex Jones' show. There's a lot of people that I also give credit to for their analysis, and that's Gerald Salene. A lot of good alternative press media out there that report actual news. There's a lot of good things out there that could get your mind right, man. To get you to see the way that you see, like the way that Ron Paul sees, the way that all these fine people that are constitutionalists see. There are ways for you to see that way, but you need to be able to filter all the garbage you hear. And by knowing how to filter all the garbage is by hearing an opinion from a standpoint of a person who isn't filling your head with garbage and manipulation. And the way that you can know that is by just, it's quite easy, man. You got to do your own research. You got to start reading the law. You got to start reading the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, see what's lawful and what's not. If you don't know what's lawful and what's not, then what do you know about anything? You know what I mean? Like, the pen is mightier than the sword for a reason, because with a real fighting because people who think they're men think that they're just quick to fight. People who think that they're men, they're just quick to fight. They want to fight. Any little reason that comes up, they're just quick to get up and start a war. But the true intelligent, smart, and empowered person knows that that you have to have more patience than that. The battle isn't won through just brute force, man, but it's won through diplomacy. Most of the time, you want to go that way because you don't want to go and fight a civil war. You see, you got all these people that are like, "I'm ready to go. Let's go." Are you sure you know what you're even saying? Are you sure what you're saying, man? Because we're not talking about meeting up so that we could play pogs. We're talking about meeting up so that we can shoot each other in the face and then end this shit. Excuse my language. But it's not a game. We're not talking about let's meet up online and play some Call of Duty and see who wins. We're talking about let's see if liberty wins or let's see if tyranny wins and let's see if America goes the way of ancient Babylon, the way of the Greeks, the way of every single great empire that has ever fallen. People tend to forget that history has repeated itself more than once, and that it doesn't change. Just because people fought with swords back then doesn't mean that the principles aren't there anymore. You see, if you ignore morality, you will lose liberty, because morality, it creates liberty because you start defending and you start honoring things that are valuable, like what's valuable in life. Let's see, farming, creating some kind of income through your work, like having land, having vegetation, having livestock. The American dream, right? The American dream, having a farm, being independent, man, living off the fat of the land, the richest. I mean, the world, the earth is so able to keep us all on here. It's just that these elites are so weird and scrambled in the head that they think that they need to depopulate the entire world because they're so concerned with the resources of the earth. But if you were to just listen to God, then you would know that He's the one that provides you with what you need, not the earth. I mean, He controls. When God says something, the universe starts to work. The universe starts to bring you that blessing that He is sending you. It literally works like that. It manifests into a physical, scientific reality, and but you atheists out there don't want to actually look at the facts and the proof. You guys just want to be paganistic and just believe in each other's made up dribble. And to me, you guys just make up folklore. You guys are just making up. I think that one day we're gonna look back on all your guys' evolutionary psychology and laugh. We're going to look back and be like, man, people were stupid. People actually believe we were monkeys. Like, what a bunch of dummies. Because we're going to come back to realizing what we are. We are really made in the image of the Almighty God, man. And that you have absolutely so much favor toward you. If only you realized how powerful you would be if you surrendered to the Lord Jesus Christ, instead of living in the curse that Adam brought into this world. And the curse that he brought into this world isn't even effective. I mean, when people don't even know the knowledge of good and evil anyway, like, what does it even make you now? It makes you an animal. You're practically an animal now if you're not really living in the Word. Like, you're just livestock. You're food for the elites. That's how they look at you. They look at you as food. You're not a person to them. You're an animal to them. So, they tell you where to go, how to live, what to do, how to feel, what to think, how to eat, what to eat, everything that you could think of. They tell you how you can do it and how much you can do it. Because that's Big Daddy government that you love so much.